Loss, it leaves a silence, a really profound silence. But what if that silence isn't just an emotional void? What if it's actually a security warning? Today, we're going to look at heartbreak through a totally different lens, the lens of a system breach, and see what it can teach us about protecting our own core.
This line, it just captures a feeling that goes so much deeper than simple sadness, doesn't it? It's about a fundamental shift in your entire environment. It's the removal of a presence that was so woven into your life, its absence becomes a sound all on its own. It's like a system that's just lost a critical component.
So, let's start there. In Section 1, the echo in the room. To really get a handle on this vulnerability, we have to first just step inside the sensory experience of loss, into that empty home.
Think about it for a second. The mornings. They're often the absolute hardest. The quiet just stretches out where a familiar routine used to be. The absence of that radio flaw, a sound you probably didn't even notice before, is now this massive gaping hole at the start of your day. The whole rhythm of life, it's lost its heartbeat.
And it's weird, right? Even the constants change. The sun still comes up, yeah, it still shines through the windows, but now it illuminates absence. It highlights the empty spaces, the chair she always sat in, that spot on the floor where she'd kick off her shoes. Even the light itself feels different, colder.
Now, here's what's really interesting. It's never the big, dramatic things you expect, is it? It's the loss of all those small, ambient noises. The hum of a blow dryer coming from the bathroom, the clinking of dishes from a late-night snack, the simple shuffle of feet across the floor. These are the sounds that make up the unique soundtrack of a life you share with someone. And when they're gone, the silence is absolutely deafening.
Okay, so here's where we make a hard pivot. We've established this really deep sense of loss, but what if we reframe it? What if we look at this overwhelming devastation not just as an emotional event, but as a catastrophic system breach, a failure of a security protocol we never even knew we needed in the first place?
That brings us to Section 2, an unprotected heart. Here, we're going to actually dissect this emotional state using the language of cybersecurity. And trust me, the parallels are pretty startling, and they offer a really powerful new way to understand what's actually happening inside us.
So look at it this way. On one side, you've got the empty house, the very real, tangible result of a lost connection. And on the other, you've got a compromised system, the result of an unprotected network. In both cases, a central part of the operating system is just gone, and the entire network is thrown into total chaos. All the core functions are completely disrupted.
And the analogy becomes incredibly clear when you map it out like this. That devastating loss of all your shared memories, well, that's like having no data backup, no independent copy of your own identity. Feeling totally locked out of your own life's rhythm, that's a system with no disaster recovery plan. And the absolute shock of it all, that's a zero-day vulnerability, a weakness you never saw coming, exploited with absolutely no warning.
And this really brings us to the central irony, doesn't it? I mean, we spend so much time and energy installing antivirus software, coming up with these complex passwords, backing up our data to the cloud. We are so meticulous about our digital security. But how much time do we spend building that same kind of resilience for our emotional core? Which leads us to Section 3, building an emotional firewall. Look, if the problem is a security breach, then the solution has to be a security protocol. So let's talk about how to build an emotional firewall, not to keep love out, but to protect your core operating system when things go wrong.
The protocol is a proactive three-step plan, and we're translating it directly from the digital world to our emotional well-being. So, let's break it down.
Okay, step 1, the firewall. Now, the crucial thing to get about a firewall is that it isn't an impenetrable wall. In tech, its job is to selectively permit and deny traffic. Emotionally, this is all about establishing healthy boundaries. It's about knowing where you end and another person begins so you can protect your energy, your time, and your mental health without shutting down completely.
Now, this one is key. Step 2, multi-factor authentication, or MFA. You know how it works. You need more than one thing to verify who you are. Emotionally, this is about diversifying your sense of self. See, if your entire identity is tied to one person, their departure means you're totally locked out of your own system. But if you have strong friendships, hobbies you love, a fulfilling career, other factors that prove who you are, you can still access your core self.
And finally, backups.
This is about consciously and actively investing in your own life. It means making memories on your own, pursuing interests that are just for you, and keeping a really strong connection with your individual identity. It ensures that if that shared drive ever gets wiped, your core data, who you are at your center, is preserved and totally safe.
So that brings us to our final section, the resilient system. Why does any of this matter? Why use this technical framework for something so human? Because it gives us a new language for resilience, and it gives us actionable steps for a feeling that can be just overwhelmingly abstract.
Let's be perfectly clear about this. None of this is meant to prevent the pain of heartbreak. A system breach is always going to be disruptive and damaging, but having these protocols in place, it means you have the tools for recovery. It means the downtime is shorter. It means you can isolate the damage, restore from a backup, and get your system back online, maybe even stronger and more secure than it was before.
So I'll leave you with this thought. We live in a world where we instinctively protect our digital selves, right? We install the updates, we run the scans, we back up the data. The real question is, are you giving your own heart, your core emotional operating system, that same level of care and attention?